Hello everybody and welcome to Decepticast episode 11. I am Decepticats here bringing you an expert Dawn of War 2 Retribution replay as is the standard for my odd episodes. So, without further babbling, let us get to the player introductions. In the blue corner, the mech boy from Heck Boy, Texanius. And his opponent in the red corner, DrifterXero. So, getting the action started here. We see Xero fleet of footing his warlock out of there. And we shall soon see a teleport out of the mech boy as well, I am sure. Yes, there it is. Tex first going for Shooters. Drifter going for a second Guardian squad. Not a bad choice against the grenade vulnerable orcs. I'm not quite sure exactly how unupgraded Banshees stack up against unupgraded Sluggas, but I think it would probably go in Slugga's favor, especially since they can activate WOG. Shooter Boy's now going for this southern cap as both heroes symmetrically cap the further out victory points. I guess they're eastern, according to the compass of the map. Shooter Boy's getting driven off by these Guardians hiding in that bush. Now Banshee's coming out for DrifterXero as Tex instead opts for, is able to cap off his power node after getting a second Shooter squad. Because shooters are cheap. Teleporting over this wall with his mech boy to avoid that warlock. As a hand-to-hand encounter between a mech boy and a warlock does not go in the mech boy's favor. Warlock now decapping this victory point. Now the mech boy's going to face off against some Guardians. Interestingly, not in cover of any kind. I think this is a bit of a loss of focus. There he goes. Now he's in green cover, but they're in green cover. Now they're both in green cover, but neither of it applies. Alright, Shooters versus Guardians once again over at the southern point. Guardians lose a model, Shooters do not, so Guardians have to get out of there. Second Shooter squad coming back into the fray here. The Slugga boys now. Warlock might get the drop on him here. He does not. He is clearly queued up to cap that point. However, Drifter notices quite quickly, drops the Eldritch Bolt, but the special attack there is what really gets that squad down. They're going to have to retreat there after losing a model. This mech boy is getting dangerously low and teleports away. A second Slugga squad out for Tex now. And the Banshees seem to have gone down. No, they were cancelled, that's right. And instead, DrifterXero goes for this Shuriken Cannon. As he saw, he likely had those Banshees queued off on the off chance that Tex was going double Slugga, but now that he saw double Shooter, he's well assured that double Slugga's out of the picture. The mech boy now trying to build a WOG banner, an interesting choice. This positioning is pretty good, because they will not have line of sight except for from this little narrow area. However, it looks like they do have line of sight from there, and the mech boy goes down with 49 hit points left to finish on that WOG banner. The Shooters do get this power node, however, they are in a bit of a dangerous situation now, cornered off by a suppression team and Guardians, so they're just going to keep moving out of the firing arc there. Meanwhile, these Sluggas are about to team up on that Warlock, the nice Eldritch Bolt before he retreats. He will take a substantial amount of damage before he gets out of there, however, he is still quite alive. Guardian squad forced off by the double Shooter. They're going to force melee as they retreat. Oh, the squad goes down! Very nice pickup for Tex there. Now the Banshees are back on the way for Drifter, having now seen the double Slugga. Mech boy going to capture the southern point, having been repurchased at great expense of 250 requisition. The Shooter's doing a very good job of just sidestepping the firing arc of the Shuriken Cannon. I think that time the Shuriken was just set up in such a way that these trees were in the way, but Now Texanius quickly moving out of that suppression arc before he even gets suppressed. The new Banshees are going in for a power bash. Slug is nowhere to defend. Warlock trying to retake this point, however not capturing. And the Mech Boy on his way to help with the suppression team, as Mech Boys are notoriously effective against suppression teams. What with the ability to teleport. No upgrades for either hero yet. Guardians do have battle equipment, and both Shooter squads have big shooters. Ooh, that grenade was very close to taking out this Shooter squad, which is now running on a very long pathway home. Uh-oh. 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 Not good for Tex. The Banshees have been moved in the retreat path of the Shooters, and they take them down! Oh, very, very brutal loss this early for Texanius to be losing anything he put a power investment into in Tier 1, especially a big shooter like that. However, he does still have the double slugger to fall back on, so he's not behind in squads. And it does seem like Drifter is appropriately afeared of these sluggers. Perhaps knowing that there was a second squad right here capturing this victory point. And the Mech Boy not that far away. The remaining Shooter squad is now in a bit of peril and is going to have to retreat. May get out without any model losses. Does. The Mech Boy now decapping that precious, fully matured requisition point as the sluggers go in for a generator harassment here, and the other sluggers go in for a runaway. Oop. Yep, they're going to retreat through those Guardians. Doesn't look like there's Banshees anywhere to intercept. No, the Banshees have gone to go catch this Slugger squad, which is also going to retreat, but will suffer one model loss. It does go down there. Ooh, a lot of model losses happened right here on this retreating squad as it went through this suppression, or the shuriken cannon fire there. Warlock now decapping this point. Texanius is up about 100 on victory points still, so that's pretty good, and he is clinging to some map control. He does have a full generator farm here, which is more than Drifter is able to get up. And thus Tex is going Tier 2 first here. Or no, sorry. He is not going Tier 2 first. He is finally going Tier 2, where Drifter has already been Tier 2 for a bit. However, has not purchased any Tier 2 units. Instead, opting for getting Aspect on his Banshees. He did make a bigger power... Well, did he? See, 30 for the Shuriken, 15 for the battle equipment, 25 for the Aspect. Yeah, I think he made a bigger power investment in Tier 1 there. Tex only spent 30 on the biggest shooters. Banshee's bashing Tex's gens again. Ooh, wow! Grenade almost killing the Mech Boy there. Will he make it out? 30 hit points. Aiming what's that? Suppressing the Warlock just as he gets the Witchblade of Kurinos up. Saving the Mech Boy's bacon. Slug is trying to imitate the bash from the Banshees, however, a Shuriken cannon set up and firing on both squads, causing suppression. Ooh, the Shooter squad is looking very low. One member, 54 hit points, but it looks like his retreat path is completely clear. After finishing the generator, one Slugger squad retreats, the other blocks line of sight, hoping to get perhaps a flank. However, when Tex loses focus, it immediately goes to attack that node. I kinda wish myself that units wouldn't automatically attack a power node, that you would have to order them to attack it. Ooh, base Shuriken cannon now firing at these sluggers, and they're going to retreat. We now have a Death Dread on the field for Tex, where still no Tier 2 units. However, the Witchblade is a Tier 2 weapon. It's likely Drifter wants to... well, he's actually quite strapped for cash as well. And the Death Dread does have the burners in bits, so it's going to be able to take out those generators with relative ease and haste. Meanwhile, we just have a capping war at the top. Mech Boy, Banshees. Banshee's actually sitting idle. Warlock and Guardians just rotating what node they're on and who's in control of it. However, with only the mech boy for Tex as a cap up there, I believe Drifter is going to easily come out on top. He teleports onto the shuriken cannon, forces melee, as he should, and then that is going to force the retreat, giving Tex some precious time to get out into this battlefield and wreck stuff up. Complete gen bash there from the Deft Dread as the Bright Lance team shows up. Slug is looking to get a retreat kill there, but they aren't quite able to do it. They pick off one model. And all is quiet for a moment. Not a very long moment, as this Deft Dread meets up with these Guardians that are going to fleet afoot and then likely retreat. And there they go. Sluggas still have no upgrades, however the Shootas do not either. And almost a second Bright Lance there, likely an auto build oversight there. We do have a little bit of skirmishing here between the Shuriken and the Shootas. And the Deft Dread marches into the base, very dangerous, unless he knows there's a Bright Lance out there. And indeed, the Bright Lance is setting up to intercept that Deft Dread. And now the question becomes, how much attention is Texanius paying? He's getting quite a bit of burna damage off on those Guardians, however, only managing to get one model as they dance back and forth, deftly avoiding most of the damage. The Deft Dread refocuses on the Bright Lance, however, with the Banshees there also, he's in a lot of trouble. Looks like Cult of Speed popped there. That is the Mech Boy Global that increases the movement speed of all friendly vehicles, and a Weird Boy pops out at the same time. Warp Vomit? Nope, just a regular shot, and then he's going to have to get out of there. Retreating through the Banshees, unfortunately. However, they are taking damage from the base turrets, and the Warlock is going to go down. The Weird Boy will survive, as will the Deft Dread. Meanwhile, Sluggas and Mech Boy out, turning this map blue. Once again. Bright Lance pew-pewing the Weird Boy, but missing. The Weird Boy did zap on that Bright Lance, and did significant damage to it, enough that it is going to have to retreat out of there. No generators up for either player at the moment. However, Tex does own 3 of the 4 generator, or power nodes rather, and is capping this one off as he recaps one of his natural requisition points. Interestingly, double retreat out of the Sluggas. Probably... Not sure why the double retreat there. Trying to get him home as soon as possible, but to what end? Perhaps worried about these warp spiders chewing them up? Oh no, I know. To repair this guy, obviously. They will likely start doing that very soon. Shootas finally have a knob. Almost went down on that last retreat. The Mech Boy now finally getting his Daka Daka Daka, also known as the super duper awesome teleporty pew pew gun. There it is, with a nice bandolier dangling down. However, Mech Boy versus Banshees in melee is not so good. Tex now mashing his teleport hotkey fast as he can. Does manage to get out of there. And the double repair on the Deft Dread has it almost back to full health, as the Weird Boy tries to flank these setup teams, but the Warlock unfortunately is going to have none of that. Fleet of footing even to try to catch up with this guy. And the Shootas, having been previously issued a command to go in there, assuming those would not be set up, are now having to retreat as well. Warp Spider's now gen harassing as Tex gets this gen up as well, and DrifterXero tries to rebuild this generator. The map is turned